Hello. Welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing a Hasetia shirt. She is in the anime Da Vinci, and it's a really good anime. I'm on. I have all the seasons. I think they're on season 5. I haven't watched it yet, but I own it. She's a really good waifu. I found her by going to the waifu locator. There's a website. I believe it's called the waifu locator. I'm pretty sure. And what you do is you type in as much detail as you can think of the type of waifu you want to see in a manga or anime. And so I wrote the most descriptive thing I could write in terms of waifu-ism terms. And the show, I'm sorry, not the show, she was suggested. And it was a picture of, Asetia. And, she's whatever, in her white dress, standing, holding a cup of tea or whatever. I forgot. It doesn't matter. And it says she's in the show, Da Vinci. Well, that's the Japanese. I think the American name is the American name of the anime. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Family myth. See, that's why I kind of like the Japanese name is better. Just Da Vinci. But anyway, I recommend it if you like. If you like Dungeons and Dragons and waifus and gods. Anyway, we are going to react to a new LOLcow, but this is very old. I saw this years ago, but I thought when we do LOLcow reactions, I should find new people. That's why we currently do Ask Anna. And then we do, not as much, but we do the adult baby diaper girl. And then we do even less, the girl that looks like she time traveled from 2014. And yeah, so we make fun of a lot of LOLcows on here. And yeah, so this one, I'm not laughing at. I support her. This is called Chimp Out at Popeyes. And white woman is raped. Angelina Ballerina. She's a nutcase. But she's going to name drop a lot of famous people, quote unquote, and she's going to tell a story, a story about a horrible situation that happened in Popeyes. And I think we all need to listen to this. Here we go. Remember, she's crazy.
We got a bad situation right now. Zach Knight found that he could use his penis. He's got the perfect penis. He could use it like a laser to encase Angelina Ballerina.
So as you can see, we're starting out with Straight Jacket Crazy. So let's go.
In a cocoon. And she was twirling round and round in the cocoon. And we thought we had her under control. And the cocoon was getting thicker and thicker, and my men were feeding Zach Gatorade to help him stay hydrated so he could keep making his semen to wrap her around in a cocoon. And then he took a break for, I think, like a minute.
So, a guy, according to her, a guy is consistently ejaculating on a woman, and they're spinning her around, and it's putting her in a cocoon. We're just getting started, folks.
Because he was getting tired. And if you go to my Patreon page, you'll see the transcript of my brain-to-brain communication with him. And also, I've also posted a video that I made of my Skype conversation with him. Mm-hmm. He took a break for about a minute.
Yeah. I wish this was real, because Try to imagine a guy ejaculating for 20 minutes as a woman spins around and then it turns into a cocoon. Oh, God.
and sipped some Gatorade,
Mm-hmm.
and then she burst out of the cocoon.
Mm-hmm.
It exploded like a bomb, and it took out one of the decks on one of the towers on Church of Gale. And Zach and I got knocked unconscious because of the explosion.
Her name is Gail, so she's saying the Church of Gail. Her name is Gail. Okay.
And in the meanwhile, because everybody at Church of Gale started relaxing and feeling like they had Angelina under control because of Zach Knight's perfect penis and the laser over her, Terrence Jenkins, Hugh Jackman, and Brent Spiner went down to Earth for a family reunion. And let me read you the letter that I got from Brent Spiner.
She's worse than guy like that like you know who the crazy drug addict is on by a Jack in the Box. But yeah, she sounds like a homeless drug addict and just spouting off stuff. But anyway,
Um,
let's hear it.
about this. Dearest Gail, I recently had both the fortune and misfortune of attending Terrence Jenkins' family reunion. What started as a happy occasion turned into complete chaos. So much has happened, it will take a mouthful to explain.
Terrence Jenkins. So she's talking about a guy named Terrence Jenkins. That is one of the blackety black names I've ever heard.
Since Matthew and Gerard have been gone, yeah, Matthew and Gerard are still under Angelina's control. We got them back, and they started vomiting and everything, and then
Mm-hmm.
they went back to Angelina, and
Okay.
she got them back.
Okay.
Since Matthew and Gerard have been gone,
Mm-hmm.
Terrence and Hugh Jackman have been doing a lot of bonding,
Hugh
mostly by
Jackman.
playing basketball together at the church rec center. Terrence had an upcoming family reunion at the old Popeyes, the one formerly owned by his late grandmama, and Hugh asked if he could come along.
Okay, wait, stop. Okay. So you Jackman and Terrence are gonna go to Popeyes for the family reunion. That makes sense. You Jackman. Okay.
Hugh had been becoming more curious about black culture, and with all of us being on your marriage list, we're kind of like family too. I asked if I could come as well, being that Hugh didn't have much exposure to black people. Since my best friend LeVar Burton was black, I thought I would make a good cultural translator for Hugh. Terence gladly welcomed us both. The three of us arrived together at the Popeyes. Wafts of crispy fried chicken and hot potato wedges permeated the air.
It's like crazy people love famous people. You notice that crazy people just love famous people, and like they got stories about famous people that they shouldn't have. Oh boy, this is. She has a Patreon. Who is giving her money? I mean, is the Simp Nation that strong? I hope not. Man, that's horrible.
Their heavy oils wetting my face and making me salivate. The building and surrounding parking area was jammed with hundreds of black people, their voices excited and raucous as they laughed and conversed. The female family members serving up chicken from behind the counter had to be even louder than the crowd in order to notify anyone of the fresh batches of food still coming out of the boiling hot deep fryers.
You know when God, it was a while ago. Meaning I just don't know when because my memory sucks. Was hanging out with some people. I believe it was me, Chris, and I forgot the third person, but we were talking about how when we were in high school, the girls were better looking than the girls in high school now. And then that somehow translated into somehow I don't know how that translated into that, but oh no, because I was like, well, and then I that translated into me going randomly. You know, the loudest thing I've ever heard is a girl in the back of the bus, and then they both looked at me, and I'm like, black girl. And then we all started laughing. But anyway.
Their shouts were high and assertive as they shoved out trays and pushed cups of purple drink, not to be confused with grape juice or Kool-Aid, between tight clusters of busily conversing blacks. Outside, a few of the black men had their car windows rolled down, blaring bass boosted rap music.
I died about 3 minutes ago. What the fuck? Okay.
That vibrated the ground and shook the windows.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Hugh getting a little nervous.
Hugh Jackman.
There was a sudden explosion of aggressive sounding yelling from across the room.
Wolverine is afraid of black people. Black people make Wolverine nervous.
Followed by bombastic laughter causing him to jump. I put my hand on his shoulder to reassure him, chuckling. It's just a different culture, Hugh. No need to be shy. A minimally dressed young black woman knocked into Hugh's shoulder as she passed the two of us on the way to the women's bathroom, and he turned to look. Like a train, two other women followed her in a line, followed by three black men, all of them smiling excitedly at one another. Hugh did a double take, then looked at me. Those men just followed those girls into the women's restroom, Hugh said quietly. Oh, yes, I answered. In black culture, public bathrooms are a very important social resource. It's where young black men and women go when they're ready to have a family and they meet a black person of the opposite sex. You mean they're going in there to get pregnant? Hugh asked incredulously. Yeah, Brent be right, Terrance chipped in. Making babies the old-fashioned way. Yeah, that be my little nieces in there. I'm so happy for them. Kwashika already got 8 or 9 kids back at her mom's house, and I think Laquifa got 5. Shawnee, I think this be her first one. Her mama in jail, though. She might have to drop it off with her aunt. Huh? They don't raise the babies, Hugh asked. Oh, no, I chuckled. It's tradition for black women to raise each other's children. The responsibility usually falls upon the grandmother. The younger women have a hard time finding men to grow their families with if they have too many kids to look after. What about the fathers? Black men are genetically programmed to leave once the woman is pregnant. It's how they diversify their gene pool. Don't they ever get married? Very seldomly. Married black people are more common in regions of the U.S. that don't have as many public bathrooms. Take the West Coast, for example. Have you noticed how there are way fewer black people in Los Angeles, California, versus Orlando, Florida? A few decades ago, California enacted statewide changes to limit their black population, which involved cutting the number of public bathrooms and making most public bathrooms require a key. If black black people want to have babies, they have little choice but to get married. Otherwise, the odds are too slim of meeting someone new who happens to be black and also happens to be near any public bathroom. I gotcha now, Brent. I didn't mean to sound racist or ignorant, Hugh apologized. That's quite all right, Hugh. You're educating yourself, which is the right thing to do.
Oh my God.
Our conversation was interrupted by loud screaming. A hulking, large black woman came jiggling over to Terrance, her arms outstretched. Terry! She cried shrilly. Quifanda! Terrance exclaimed. The buffalo-sized woman threw her body aggressively around Terrance in a thick bear hug, her warm breasts embracing his face seemingly of their own accord.
I'm about to have an asthma attack. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you don't have to add anything to this. This is perfect. This is perfect.
Hugh startled with a loud roar and instinctively shot his fist into the woman's face to protect Terrance, who he thought was being smothered alive in this woman's bosom. The woman let out a yell of shock. Her already fat lips swelled up to twice their size, now taking up almost her whole face.
Which the sad thing is, women try to look at that on purpose now.
Oh my goodness, Terrance exclaimed. This quieted the rest of the Popeyes as multiple heads turned to look toward the injured Quifanda.
Quifanda.
Auntie Quifanda, you all right, bitch? A young man worriedly yelled. Shit dog, another man moaned. Voices from all over the room continued to chime in. I stay back, dog. Auntie Quifanda's face all blowed up. She don't need your ashy nigga arms all up in her face. That my grandmama to me, nigga. That bitch raised my ass. Who you calling nigga? The voices rose, the tension escalated until all of a sudden the entire room imploded. The sea of black people seemingly diverged in on itself as all of them began to riot inside the tiny Popeyes.
Dude, this has got to be a Popeyes commercial. I mean, I know it's a bad idea, but just imagine this is a Popeyes commercial. Just like I'd go. I don't eat fried chicken because I don't eat fried food. I would go to Popeyes if she was their like spokesperson. Hell yeah.
We got a bad situation right now. Zach Knight found that he could use his penis. He's got the perfect penis. He could use it like a laser to encase Angelina Ballerina in a cocoon. And she was twirling round and round in the cocoon. And we thought we had her under control. And the cocoon was getting thicker and thicker. And
did it somehow jump back? Really? Oh well.
For black women to raise each other's children, cutting the number of public bathrooms, Terrance exclaimed. The buffalo-sized woman threw her body aggressively around Terrance in a thick bear hug, her warm breasts embracing his face seemingly of their own accord. Hugh startled with a loud roar and instinctively shot his fist into the woman's face to protect Terrance, who he thought was being smothered alive in this woman's bosom. The woman let out a yell of shock. Her already fat lips swelled up to twice their size, now taking up almost her whole face. Oh my goodness!
Did I accidentally set it back so we could hear her say the word nigger again? I wouldn't do that. Why would I do that?
Terrance exclaimed. This quieted the rest of the Popeyes as multiple heads turned to look toward the injured Quifanda.
Quifanda!
Auntie Quifanda, you all right, bitch? A young man worriedly yelled. Shit dog, another man moaned. Voices from all over the room continued to chime in. I stay back, dog. Auntie Quifanda's face all blowed up. She don't need your ashy nigga arms all up in her face. That my grandmama to me, nigga. That bitch raised my ass. Who you calling nigga? The voices rose, the tension escalated until all of a sudden the entire room imploded. The sea of black people seemingly diverged in on itself as all of them began to riot inside the tiny Popeyes. Hey, that be fresh chicken. Don't be getting your ashy nigger asses all in my chicken. We eatin' that. A girl at the counter
These are the greatest hits.
yelled. She then screamed as her weave was torn from her head, and blacks began surging over the counter to begin throwing all of the food and destroying all of the equipment.
Okay. I'm not, saying anything, but that just sounds like a Tuesday. How many videos have you seen on YouTube or news segments, whatever, of this exact thing happening? Anyway.
Tables were being turned over in the dining area. People were screaming and yelling. I had to duck as a chair was thrown and sent crashing through a glass window. Hugh curled his fists and got ready to fight.
You Jackman.
I calmly put my hand to his chest to stop him. We're all right, Hugh.
Uh-oh.
It's just a chimp out. A chimp out? Yeah, it's a bit like It's a bit like a black people thunderstorm. It's natural for them. It will pass soon. Just stay calm. I ducked again as a Gucci bag was flung toward my face. Terence and I guided Hugh carefully through the raging chimp.
Terrence? I think she's saying it wrong on purpose. Here we go.
I guided Hugh carefully through the raging chimp out, our shoes crunching on
Chimp out.
brightly colored fake nails beneath our feet. We watched from the sidelines as the Popeyes was being ravaged from the inside out. Terence sat down, finally beginning to eat from a bucket of fried chicken. He chuckled at the scene before him. Look at them, couple of shaboons clawing off each other's extensions. Oh my goodness. Shouldn't we call the cops, Hugh asked. We can't, I said simply. We're on Martin Luther King Street. No cop is going to show up here.
I was just going to say that.
Especially if we tell them what's going on. What? Hugh was confused. I didn't have time to explain. The doors opened and a very white woman, dressed in all pink, tiptoed into the Popeyes. Oh my goodness, Terence yelled, standing up so fast he spilled the bucket of fried chicken all over his groin and pant legs. No white woman in her right mind would show up in a crowd of black men. Especially in the middle of a Class 4 chimp out, I said. The tiptoed woman began dancing and then twirling herself all the way toward the middle of the Popeyes. That was when the winds changed. As if they all noticed her at the same time, all of the black men in the room began turning in unison toward the white woman to begin raping her. Hugh stood up and I planted my hand to his chest again. This is normal, Hugh, don't worry. But something about this black gang rape of a white woman in a Popeyes was not normal. I couldn't put my finger on it. That was when Terence took off running toward the white woman. Terence, no! Hugh, we need to stop him. Hugh, what are you doing? Hugh had taken off with Terence, both of the men now forcing their way through the frenzied crowd to rape this strange woman.
So Wolverine is part of the chimp out. I don't like X-Men anymore.
That was when I realized this woman was Angelina Ballerina. I felt my penis become more erect than it had ever been my entire life. So hard it ripped straight through the front of my pants. Before I could stop myself, I began racing toward the crowd, consumed with the thought of raping her. To my anguish, I was met with a wall of impossibly strong black men. I pried and pulled, desperate to get between them, but they were rock solid. It reminded me of the time I got into a fight with a retard. Black people have...
Stop. Wow.
Have retard strength, I thought to myself. Scientists later confirmed to me that black people are genetically far stronger than whites. Put simply, the selective breeding involved in designing them for hard labor as slaves had created the perfect assault and rape machines. As a white man, I was unable to join the gang rape without their permission. They were...
Are you fucking serious?
in their element, so to speak. This is probably what very likely saved my life. In my aroused haze, I wound up bumping into Fonda and like an animal threw myself on her from behind and began raping her. I couldn't stop myself. I blacked out for several minutes, ravaging this poor ebony woman beyond my control. When I came to, Angelina was already making her way out of the Popeyes. Terence and Hugh were holding her hand from either side, while Angelina skipped along between them in satisfaction, disappearing with both of them back to her ship.
There's a ship? Wait, what? I can't keep up. Like, when the chimp out happened, I was like, whoa, what's going on?
I politely picked up Fonda's weave, which had fallen off while I was raping her, then courteously apologized. Don't you worry, sugar, Fonda replied sweetly understanding. This fin to happen. Don't you worry your little white heart. I barely felt it anyway, honey. I was
Wow.
grateful that I hadn't hurt Cuifanda, but I was still very much ashamed. Hanging my head, I hurriedly took my leave from the Popeyes. I am disheartened to report that Angelina Ballerina has now captured Terence Jenkins and Hugh Jackman, and that I myself barely escaped. This woman is dangerous, and she is after all the men. I refuse to become the next victim. We must fight her, and we must defeat her. Your husband, Brent Spiner. Okay, what has happened is that
A lot of bullshit happened, lady. You're crazy. So, Brent Spiner is the one that wrote the letter. Data from Star Trek. Geordi was there from Star Trek. Like,
I tried shooting my lightning bolts on Angelina. They're not even phasing her.
what?
And now
Mm-hmm.
the laser from Zach's penis is not phasing her either.
Oh
She's inside
no.
this pink spaceship,
Mm-hmm.
and she's orbiting the Earth. And everything we're shooting, it's a very powerful ship. And if we try to attack it,
Mm-hmm.
Zach says the explosion will
Mm-hmm.
be too deadly.
Oh, okay.
It
Okay.
will have a very deadly explosion, and it
I don't
just
want
would
that. I don't want that.
be too dangerous.
I get it.
And we don't know what to do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to shoot lightning bolts at her, but
Mm-hmm.
she's inside this pink spaceship, and
Mm-hmm.
my lightning bolts aren't even getting
Mm-hmm.
phasing her.
Mm-hmm.
She's got Hugh
Oh
Jackman,
boy.
Terence Jenkins, Gerard Butler, Matthew McConaughey inside this pink
Matthew
spaceship
McConaughey.
that's
Wait, well, you got
orbiting the
Matthew
Earth.
McConaughey.
My
So you going interstellar in the spaceship too? When did Matthew McConaughey? I mean, I understand that Hugh Jackman was there. I understand Brent Spiner was there. And like the Reading Rainbow guy was there. And apparently Torrance Jenkins was there. But you never mentioned Matthew McConaughey. And I swear I was paying attention. Okay.
lightning bolts and my power shoes on her are not even phasing her.
Mm-hmm.
The pink spaceship just deflects them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now Zach Knight, when he aims his laser at her, she inside this pink spaceship, it's not even. We don't know.
Okay.
Scientists out there, if you can help us come up with a solution. She went down to Los Angeles,
Okay.
destroyed half the city.
Yep. She did. It's called BLM.
Then Zach Knight hit her with his laser beam, and now she's in this spaceship. There's an email underneath. Call us if you can.
Yeah, so that's the video. And that was my reaction. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what to say.